YouTube? Got the 13 Camaro 2SS back in here. As you saw, we did all the LSA swap stuff. Everything worked beautifully. Only issue we had now, we're still waiting on the proper tension to run it like the stock ZL1 or LSA setup. Still waiting on that, but luckily I was able to work for now to get to the dyno. And you know, we actually dynoed it. It was about 2 weeks ago. It's been a little minute. I've had a lot of stuff going on, so trying to film, record, and edit and all this stuff is, you know, it takes a little bit of time. So bear with me. Worked fine. The only issue we had, fuel pump couldn't keep up. It's just the stock fuel pump. The tuner was only able to rev it out to about 6,000 RPM. At that point, he made 550 horsepower to the wheels. And the way the graph was going, it was a steady climb up. I'm sure we could have revved it all the way out. He definitely would have got 600. My car makes 600 to the wheels. I'm same engine. I'm a stage 1 cam, and I'm also automatic. This car is a stage 3. It's a manual, less drivetrain loss. So he definitely, I have no doubt he would make 600 to the wheels. Horsepower, probably torque too, or flip vice versa, you know, depending on how that cam works with this car. But everything worked great. So to remedy that, we got ZL1 fuel pump, pretty much stock ZL1 fuel pump. Got it from Texas Speed. We're gonna put it in the car. 2 ways you can do it. I know a lot of people, you know, could take the back seat out. The tank's pretty much right under behind the passenger, the rear seats, saddle style. So a pump will pump from the tank on the driver's side into the tank on the passenger side, and that's where the main pump is, in the passenger side, and that's what sends it to the front engine. A lot of people cut a little square, put some right at the top of that. Easy, take the old pump out, do whatever you need to do. That would definitely be the easiest way to go. But to avoid trying to cut for now, we're just gonna drop it from under. Plus, you know, that show, a lot of people say this is very hard and difficult to do, and you know, make a big deal about it. It's not that hard. So I'm gonna show you how I do it from the bottom, and we'll get the tank out and get it started. Replace this, like I said, this is just a stock ZL1 pump, so we know this will work since this is pretty much essentially now a ZL1 as far as engine goes. So we'll get all that situated and started, and then see, we got them disconnect the battery, get the car up in the air. We'll start disconnecting stuff. Got to get the exhaust out of the way, and the drive shaft mainly. Disconnect all the lines and stuff going to the tank. Filler cap stuff. Get all that out the way, and we'll go ahead and get it down. Alright, we're gonna start under the car. Sorry, it's wind blowing out, this fan going. It's kind of hot, obviously, up in here. But first thing we're gonna go do is get the exhaust off. I'm just gonna disconnect here right after the hot blow cats. Same on both sides. I'll just disconnect it there, and I'll also disconnect right here before the axle back on each side. Then I'll tackle getting the drive shaft bolts loose. Get those off front and rear, so I'll have to get here. Brakes will have to come off first, obviously, before the frame stiffener. This will come off before the exhaust. Once the exhaust's off, like so, I get that drive shaft. I'll probably loosen it first, both sides there and right here in the front, and then I had to drop this heat shield. Once I drop the heat shield, the drive shaft should come right out. I probably actually can get it out without taking that off, but that's no big deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to set up and start doing that, and come back to you once I get that situated. Got the exhaust off. So I disconnected it after the cats. I just went ahead and took the whole system off instead of breaking it there.
Saying that was gonna be a lot easier to do. So that's what we went with, or what I went with. And let's see here. So next up, that just leaves me. I'm gonna go ahead and try to break these the bolts for the drive shaft. So do that. I'll go ahead and get this heat shield off. This one. Once I do that, that should give me more room and clearance to see what's going on. So I'll do that now. Okay, so we got the drive shaft disconnected and removed, front and back. I'm gonna get this heat shield out the way. I think I also need to disconnect the parking brake. This shouldn't be too hard at all. And let's see here. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this out the way first. Let's see what we got. Alright, so got drive shaft out, exhaust, heat shields. Right now I'm on the, what did I do with the light? Oh yeah, I remember now. Oh, I hate putting things places and then always forgetting where I put them. So, like I said, drive shaft's out. I believe everything I've seen says, you know, most people always say you have to drop the subframe to get the tank out. So they always suggest just loosening, removing the two front bolts for the subframe. Make sure you have a jack under it, and then once you lower the jack, it'll kind of rotate down. So I'm sure I will have to do it, but hey, I'm under here. I might as well try. I might save some time. I'm also gonna go ahead and disconnect all the fittings. You got your supply line right here. I think it's just the evap line. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect these. I've opened the gas tank door and opened the cap. I've also bled the pressure off the front at the fuel rail, so it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and disconnect all the connections here as well. So I'm gonna do that right quick, and then we'll see what's left to hopefully maybe be able to drop the tank. I also disconnected the e-brake cable because that runs down there, so I have to pop that out, pop those out, and that way I can get the tank over there. Okay, just stabbed myself with a piece of plastic. So pretty much got everything situated, everything disconnected. I disconnected everything that was on the side here. Also, fuel filler neck, which is right there, and also was the evap line above that. I disconnected those. Like I said, all the connections here on the side. The straps, I actually took the straps off, took it off here, and also got a super long extension and got the one up there. So I went ahead and loosened the subframe bolt, both of them. I got it supported right now by the jack. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those off and lower it down, see if that gives me the room I need to get the tank out. So we'll see how that goes and see what happens. Okay. So as of right now, I got everything's loosened, so I'm gonna see what happens when I start to drop the subframe. Try to get a good angle for you guys. Alright, so we got the subframe dropped. Now I just gotta actually try to get my hands up here to disconnect all the stuff that still needs to be disconnected. All these lines on the side though. Which is actually what I may do. So this is the pump I need to get to. Obviously, it's not that much. It's not that deep of a tank. So what I'm gonna do is actually just go ahead and take it off right here. I got plenty of room. I can get it in and get the new one out. Save myself a little bit of time. So all I gotta do, I'm gonna disconnect the electrical connection, then I'm gonna disconnect the feed line. Excuse me, yeah, that actually is the feed line. One on the right. So once I do that, it should be good to go ahead and pop it out. A better view, hopefully. You can see I went ahead and disconnected the electrical connection. I went ahead and disconnected the actual feed line. I went ahead and I pushed it over here to the side. I'm gonna spray off and try to clean all this dirt and stuff off first before I actually open the tank up. So I'll get that done. And then I'm going to open it using the improper method of a hammer and a screwdriver because I don't have the fancy tool. But this has always worked. I don't really do too much, get in the tanks too much, so. All right, do a screwdriver and a hammer. Right, now let's see if I can get this. Simple, effective. We'll take this. There would be a lot of fuel in here. Joey usually never has fuel in his car. And then when I gotta do something with the fuel, a lot of fuel in the car. So anyway, let's see, where is it at? One connection we gotta get rid of, I'll open right here. Should be able to see that. This connection right here. out. Go ahead and replace this O-ring too with the one that they supplied. All right. Moving right along. So, get that off for a second. Old, new. So you can't really tell any difference. That's the old one. This is the new one. The exact same sizing, setup, connection. This pump just has a ZL1 pump. O-rings exact same. Like I said, I got a new one, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. Don't need this one. So we're gonna go ahead and get this situated. Get it in the car. And start reversing the process. Alright. Got her out with the old, in with the new. Get the float on. Make sure I connect. And I think that's it. There we go. All right. Got that done. This cap already came off. The cap was just a cover for there. Go ahead, reconnect stock connection here. Pop this loom back, and I kind of took it out to give myself some better room. I want this on the bottom. It's just a little snap fit that keeps it on. Plug my electrical connection back. And that's that. I just gotta get it back up. I'm a simple man, don't wanna complicate you. subframe back up, fuel tanks back up. I didn't torque the straps yet, but the bolts are in. Connected everything back on this side. The feed line right here. So I got the feed line, evap, electrical connection, I had a disconnect, and the other one I also had a disconnect right here. And then went ahead and reconnected the fuel filler hose and also the vent. The evap vent for that. Let's see. Subframes back up. I didn't torque these yet. They are tight. I gotta look up the torque spec. And then I just had to finish tightening up the straps. I went ahead and reconnected Mercy brake cable. So now that's reconnected, I'm gonna go ahead and put the heat shield back up for this part. The heat shield that goes here before the drive shaft goes in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'll go ahead and torque the subframe bolts down. Then we'll start throwing the drive shaft back in. Okay, so I got the drive shaft back in. Like I said, everything's bolted. I'm not torqued yet. Got the middle isolator mount here. Got that back in, as well as the back. I'm gonna go ahead and put the heat shield over because it just covers this section right here. Still leave me access to go ahead and torque these bolts for the drive shaft. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that up. I'm not worried about this one. I'll just kind of hand tighten that one pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put this heat shield back up here, and then I'll go ahead and torque down the drive shaft as well as the subframe for the rear, the two front bolts. So all right, drive shaft's back in. Things torqued down. The torque subframe was 74 plus 120 degrees. Both. Actually, probably gonna go grab new bolts. I didn't see it say there was a torque deal. I don't think they are, but the fact that you have to do that extra degree, I have to do research on that to make sure. But I don't believe they are because of the stamping. But I may get some new ones anyway, just to be on the safe side. Won't hurt. Got the drive shaft back together. Let me see here. So subframe bolts were 74 plus 120 degrees. Got those torqued. Drive shaft, got that back in. I finally went ahead and torqued everything down. It was so you have the coupler, the little rubber piece, kind of this piece right here. That's the coupler. So the way they have it set is the drive shaft itself. The drive shaft itself to the coupler is 67 foot-pounds. So the drive shaft to the rubber piece, that's both back and the same for the front. Now for the rear, for the actual coupler itself to the rear diff, that one was 85 foot-pounds. So this bolt here was 85 foot-pounds. Say this one was 67, or the nut, depending on which side you tightened or held. And the front, which would have been the coupler to the transmission, so that would have been the bolt here, the little reverse torque bit. That was 72 there. I'm not sure. Yeah. So this one's 72 foot-pounds, and again, this one's still 67. The actual drive shaft to the coupler, to the rubber coupler itself, and then 72 for that one. So everything's buttoned up as far as that goes. Heat shield's back up. It has access holes so I can torque those too. Dips back up. Everything's connected. I'm gonna actually go ahead and connect the battery and go ahead and prime the system and check it for leaks before I put the exhaust back up. So like I said, I'll just do that right quick. I'll just throw the negative terminal back on here. Not even gonna tighten it. Now, prime the system, make sure we don't have leaks. Alright, so car's on right now. Heard the system prime. I don't see any leaks coming from anywhere. Things reconnected. Alright, should be good. I'll just go ahead and tighten the straps all the way completely. Then I'll throw the exhaust back up and we'll see how it does when I try to fire it. Got everything done. Car's back on the ground. Take it out for a test drive. See how it does.